So hello everyone, I am Asit and today we are going to cover the basics of power electronic system. So starting my lecture, I want to say the major components of a power electronic system. So the major components of a power electronic system is as shown in the block diagram that constitutes a control unit, a digital circuit, power electronic circuit, load, feedback unit, command signal and the main power source among others. So the main power source may be an AC supply system or a DC supply system. Now we will learn about the output. So the output from the power electronic circuit may be a variable DC or a AC voltage. It may be a variable voltage and frequency also. In general, the output of a power electronic converter depends upon the requirements of the load. कि requirements of the load क्या है, लोड को क्या चाहिए. So for example, if the load is a DC motor, अगर लोड एक तो DC मोटर होता है, then the converter output must be adjustable direct voltage. So what will be the output of converter? So the output of a converter is a adjustable direct voltage in case the load is a DC motor. So in case of a 3-phase induction motor, the converter may have a adjustable voltage and frequency at its output terminals. So what is the function of the feedback component? The feedback component as shown in the figure measures a parameter of the load. You can say the parameter is speed in case of a rotating machine and compares it with the command. And now the difference of the two through the digital circuit components controls the instant of the turn on of semiconductor devices. So in this manner, the behavior of the load circuit can be controlled as desired over a wide range with adjustment of the command. So now we will see what are the advantages, disadvantages of power electronics converters. The advantages possessed by the power electronics system is as follows. So a power electronic system has a high efficiency due to the low loss in power semiconductor devices. So it has high efficiency. And secondly, it is highly reliable. Thirdly, long life and less maintenance due to the absence of any moving parts. Fourth, it has fast dynamic response of the power electronic system as compared to the electromechanical converter system. So as compared to electromechanical converter system, the dynamic response of the power electronic systems is high or fast. Fifth, small size and less weight results in less floor space and therefore our installation cost is less. Last, mass production of power semiconductor devices has resulted in the lower cost of the converter equipment. So as the semiconductor devices are produced or in a large quantity, so the converter equipment cost decreases. So now, what are the disadvantages of this power electronics converter? In spite of such advantages, our power electronics converters have some disadvantages also. Firstly, these circuits have a tendency to generate harmonics in the supply system as well as in the load circuit. So power electronic circuit क्या करता है? It generates harmonics in the supply as well as in the load circuit. So the load circuit performance is influenced. For example, a high harmonic content in the load circuit causes commutation problems in the DC machine, increased motor heating, and more acoustical noise in both DC and AC machines. So what are the disadvantages having harmonics in our load system? So if our load circuit have harmonics, then this causes commutation problems in DC machines. If the load is a DC machine, then increased heating of the motor and more acoustical noise in both DC and AC machines. So if the output is a DC machine or AC machine, we have a more noise. So steps must be taken to filter this out of the output side of a converter. So हमको क्या करना चाहिए? ये जो हार्मोनिक्स है इसको हमको फिल्टर करना है आउटपुट साइड ऑफ ए कन्वर्टर से, कन्वर्टर का आउटपुट से फिल्टर करना है. Secondly, AC to DC or DC to AC converters sometimes in some operating conditions operate at a very low power factor. So you all have known what are the disadvantages of having a low power factor system. In machines, you have already studied. So in order to avoid a low power factor, some special measures have to be adopted. And thirdly, power electronics controllers have low overload capacity. इसका overload capacity बहुत ही कम होता है. So these converters must therefore be rated for taking momentary overloads. So as such, the cost of the power electronics will increase. Lastly, regeneration of power is difficult in power electronic converter system. So these are the disadvantages of power electronics converters. So अगर इतना disadvantages है तो why should we use a power electronic circuit? It's because the advantages possessed by power electronic converters far outweigh their disadvantages mentioned. So as a consequence, semiconductor based converters are being extensively employed in systems where power flow is to be regulated. जहाँ पे हमको पावर फ्लो को रेगुलेट करना है वहाँ पे हम क्या करते हैं, तो सेमीकंडक्टर बेस्ड कन्वर्टर को यूज़ करते हैं. सो एज आई स्टेटेड, conventional power controllers used in many installations have already been replaced by semiconductor based power electronic controllers. जो हमारा conventional power controllers था जैसा थायराट्रॉन ट्यूब, वो सब क्या हो गया, वो सब रिप्लेस कर दिया गया बाय सेमीकंडक्टर बेस्ड पावर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स कंट्रोलर्स. सो विल नो व्हाट आर द डिसएडवांटेजेस ऑफ थायराट्रॉन ट्यूब and why it needs to be replaced by semiconductor devices. So what are the basic disadvantages of thyratrons? So thyratron is less reliable. It is less reliable, bulkier, than thyristor, and it has a much larger internal losses. So internal losses is more. And secondly, thyratron needs a large anode to cathode voltage. So anode to cathode voltage VAK is more. And a separate filament supply is required, whereas the thyristor needs only one main supply and control signal. A separate filament supply is needed. A thyristor has much smaller turn on and turn off times. So thyristor का क्या होता है, turn on and turn off time is very small in comparison to that of thyratron. So thyratron has more turn on and turn off time. And lastly, a thyristor can operate over a wide range of frequencies. thyristor को हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं, ओवर ए वाइड रेंज ऑफ फ्रीक्वेंसी हम लोग ऑपरेट कर सकते हैं. बट thyratron cannot be operated above a frequency greater than 1 kilohertz. So we can't operate a thyratron above a frequency greater than 1 kilohertz. So these are the basic disadvantages of thyratrons. So क्या disadvantages है? So these are less reliable, more bulkier, and here internal losses is more, and anode to cathode voltage is more, and it requires a separate filament supply and more turn on and turn off time. So इसको स्टार्ट और बंद करने के लिए हमको ज़्यादा टाइम चाहिए. And lastly, we cannot operate a thyratron more than 1 kilohertz frequency level. So these are the disadvantages. So these thyratrons nowadays are getting replaced by our power semiconductor devices. So you can take a screenshot of this, and this is very exam oriented questions. So what is a thyristor? So a thyristor is a solid state semiconducting device. So thyristor क्या होता है? Thyristor एक तो solid state semiconducting device है, and it has 4 alternating layers. It has 4 alternating layers of p-type and n-type of materials. Here I am writing some important members of a thyristor family and their voltage and current ratings and upper frequency ratings. So the main members are SCR, light activated SCR, RCT and GTO. So what is the upward voltage rating of a SCR? And that is 7000 volts, current is 5000 ampere, upper frequency 1 kilohertz. Similarly, for light activated SCR, voltage is 6000 volt, current rating 3000 ampere, upper frequency 1 kilohertz. For an RCD, our voltage rating is 2.5 kilovolt, current rating is 400 amperes, upper frequency 2 kilohertz. Similarly for GTO, 5000 volt, 3000 ampere, 2 kilohertz. So as you can say, for an SCR have a high voltage rating and current rating, that is in the range of 7000 volt and 5000 amperes. And as I have said earlier, and thyristor can operate a frequency level above a frequency level greater than 1 kilohertz. So you can see here the higher operating frequency is 2 kilohertz, and here for GTO also 2 kilohertz. So as I have said, thyristor is a solid state semiconducting device. You may ask, sir, a solid state क्या है? Tell me something about solid state. Because we don't know about solid state semiconducting devices. So why it is called as a solid state semiconducting device, not gaseous state or liquid state? So what is the basic concept? Because all the electrical actions, that is power control, voltage control, among others, so all the electrical actions occurs within the solid material. So a thyristor क्या है? Thyristor is a 4 alternating layers of P and N type of materials, and that materials are made up of silicon, germanium among the semiconducting materials. So ये तो सिलिकॉन मटेरियल है, जर्मेनियम है, ये कौन सा स्टेट में होते हैं? ये सॉलिड स्टेट में होते हैं. सो ऑल द इलेक्ट्रिकल एक्शंस occurs within the solid materials. So that's why these devices are called as solid state semiconducting device. You know what is a semiconductor? So I need not to explain what is semiconductor again. So thyristor is a solid state semiconducting device. Solid state because all the electrical actions such as voltage control, current control, that is happening within the solid materials. So I have written some notes about solid state devices, so that can help you. So write it down. First I am going to explain it. मैं आपको फर्स्ट इसके बारे में कुछ बताऊंगा. So the term solid state is also used for devices in which semiconductor electronics replaces devices having moving parts. So solid state जो term है वो कहाँ भी यूज होता है? So it is used in the for their devices in which semiconductor electronics, जो semiconductor का devices है, दो materials है, जो electronics है, वो क्या करता है? Replace करता है that materials which have moving parts. For example, a solid state relay. So actually relay में क्या होता है? Relay में एक तो electromagnetic arm होता है which is moving. Whenever we have a current or voltage which is in the range of fault current level, we know that our relay operates. So in the relay operations, that moving part will comes from normally open contact to normal closed contact. सो अभी सॉलिड स्टेट रिले क्या है? सॉलिड स्टेट रिले में वही फंक्शन किया जाता है ट्रांजिस्टर के थ्रू. सो हियर ट्रांजिस्टर स्विचेस रिप्लेस मूविंग आर्म ऑफ इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रिले. सो अभी क्या हो गया? ट्रांजिस्टर आ गया इन प्लेस ऑफ द मूविंग आर्म इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रिले. एंड द सेकेंड एग्जाम्पल इज सॉलिड स्टेट ड्राइव्स. सो इनिशियली आप लोग को पता है हम लोग जब कुछ स्टोर करना चाहते हैं कंप्यूटर में, एक तो डिस्क आता था. सो द डिस्क इज रोटेटिंग इन नेचर. सो अभी क्या आ गया? हमारे पास पेन ड्राइव आ गया. सो हम लोग अभी क्या कर रहे हैं? वो पेन ड्राइव से सब कुछ डाटा हमारा स्टोर कर रहे हैं. सो सॉलिड स्टेट ड्राइव इज नथिंग बट दैट पेन ड्राइव्स. दिस रिप्लेसेस रोटेटिंग हार्ड डिस्क ड्राइव्स which stores data. These solid state devices are very popular in the beginning of the 1960. That is the beginning of the semiconductor era. So earlier हमारे पास क्या था? So earlier we have the vacuum tubes in which electronic action occurred in the gaseous state. So vacuum tubes के अंदर क्या है? gases होता है through which electronic actions takes place. But in case of solid state, the electronic action takes place inside a solid. So the semiconductor device works by controlling an electric current which constitutes electrons and holes moving within a solid crystalline piece of semiconducting material such as silicon. So a semiconductor device works in that way. But in the thermionic vacuum tubes, what happens? And these tubes works by controlling current conducted by a gas of particles. The particles are electrons or ions. So in thermionic vacuum tubes works by controlling current conducted by a gas of particles moving within a vacuum within a sealed tube. So now we will learn something about the transistor devices. So what is the fast transistor? The fast transistor is a point contact transistor, and the fast point contact transistor is invented by American physicist John Barnett and Walter Brattain. So these two scientists or physicists, John Barnett and Walter Brattain, invented what? The fast transistor, that is a point contact transistor, on December 23rd, 1947 at Bell Labs. And they also discovered or invented BJT in the next year, that is in 1948, also in the Bell Labs. And they work under विलियम शकले. विलियम शकले कौन है मैं आपको आगे जाके बताऊंगा. सो विलियम शकले इज द मैन हु प्रपोज्ड SCR, जो सिलिकॉन कंट्रोल रेक्टिफायर है, दैट इज फर्स्ट प्रपोज्ड बाय विलियम शकले इन 1950. सो देन क्या हुआ, इन 1956 by some of the power engineers of General Electric led by Gordon Hall, we have invented SCR. So the SCR was invented in 1956 by General Electric. So after the invention of the SCRs, the era of modern power electronics begins. So thyristor or silicon controlled rectifier, these are synonym to each other. So the silicon controlled rectifier SCR was invented in Bell Laboratories, in Bell Labs in 1956, and its prototype was introduced by GE. Its prototype is introduced by GE in 1957. And the SCR based systems is made commercially available in 1958 by GE. So commercially कब आया? 1958. This is also by GE. GE ने क्या किया ना, SCR बेस्ड सिस्टम्स वो कमर्शियली अवेलेबल कर दिया. So what is the basic structure of a SCR? An SCR looks like this. This is a 4 layers of alternating P-type and N-type materials, and this SCR have 3 terminals, that is anode, cathode and gate, and it has 3 junctions, J1, J2, J3. So this is the common diagram of a SCR or common structure of a SCR. So I have applied some voltages over here, and I will discuss it in later in this lecture. So currently, what is a SCR looks like? An SCR is a 4 layer of alternating P-type and N-type materials, P and PN materials, and it has 3 junctions, J1, J2, J3, and it has 3 terminals, that is anode, cathode and gate. So here this is called anode terminal, this is called cathode terminal, and this is gate, and gate is also called as control terminal of a SCR. This is positive terminal or anode, this is negative terminal or cathode, and this is control terminal, is called as also gate. So now we will learn about static characteristics of a SCR. Static characteristics. So SCR has some characteristics, that is in forward blocking state, J1, J3 is forward biased and J2 is reverse biased. In case of anode is made positive to cathode, in the forward blocking state SCR is equivalent to a open switch, and voltage across the device is supply voltage एंड करंट इज फॉरवर्ड लीकेज करंट. सो फॉरवर्ड ब्लॉकिंग स्टेट क्या होता है? सो फॉरवर्ड ब्लॉकिंग स्टेट इज नथिंग. फॉरवर्ड ब्लॉकिंग स्टेट इज नथिंग but the off state of a SCR. Off state. Why off state? Because फॉरवर्ड ब्लॉकिंग स्टेट में क्या होता है, हम लोग एक एनोड टू कैथोड वोल्टेज इधर अप्लाई करते हैं थ्रू बैटरी. सो व्हाट इज द एनोड टू कैथोड वोल्टेज? दिस इज VAK. दिस इज डिनोटेड एज VAK. सो व्हेन our battery positive is connected to the anode and battery negative is connected to the cathode, then this junction J1 and J3 will be forward biased and this J2 junction will reverse biased, because here is positive, here we have negative. So positive is connected to P, that means this J1 junction will be forward biased, and here negative is connected to the N type of material, that means this J3 is forward biased but this J2 is reverse biased. So according to the concepts of PN junction diode, a depletion layer will be formed over here. So this J2 junction will not allow the flow of current, that means it will block the flow of current. But as J1 and J3 are forward biased, these two junctions will allow the flow of current. But in total, as this J2 junction is not allowing the conduction of current, so we will only have a leakage current flowing in forward blocking state. So this leakage current will not be able to turn on this device. So our SCR is in off state. So what is forward blocking state? Forward blocking state is nothing but the off state. This is the off state of a SCR. So another state is forward conduction state. So forward conduction state I am writing over here. This is also called as on state. Be very clear. Forward blocking state is off state. Forward conduction state is on state. So what is forward conduction state? सो फॉरवर्ड कंडक्शन स्टेट में क्या होता है, J1, J2 एंड J3 जंक्शंस all will be in a allowing flow of current. That means फॉरवर्ड कंडक्शन स्टेट में क्या होगा, दिस J2 जंक्शन का जो डिप्लेशन लेयर है वो ब्रेकडाउन हो जाएगा and this J2 junction will be conducting in nature. So we will have a current and that current is called anode to cathode current or IAK, that will be flow in the circuit. IAK that will flow in the circuit in forward conduction state. So forward conduction state is called as on state of the SCR. So forward blocking state of a SCR is equivalent to open switch and voltage across the device is the supplied voltage and current is forward leakage current. And a turner of SCR means forward blocking state to forward conduction state. So to shift the state of a SCR from its forward blocking mode to forward conduction state is called as turning on of a SCR. And turn off of a SCR means forward conduction state to forward blocking state. So in forward conduction state, the voltage across the SCR is very negligible and it is nearly equal to 0 and the current is anode to cathode current. So in forward blocking mode, the SCR is equivalent to open switch. So voltage across the device is supplied voltage and current is forward leakage current. So in forward voltage triggering of SCR, what is forward voltage triggering? Forward voltage triggering means connecting a supply positive to anode and supply negative to cathode. So this is called as forward biased or forward voltage triggering of SCR. So in forward voltage triggering, amount of voltage needed to turn on the SCR is called as forward breakover voltage. So forward breakover voltage VBO. What is forward breakover voltage? In forward voltage triggering of SCR, the amount of voltage needed to turn on the SCR is called as forward breakover voltage. So forward breakover voltage में क्या होता है? So I have here a voltage VAK which is initially less than forward breakover voltage. So forward breakover voltage कैसे हम आएगा? तो इधर हम क्या करेंगे? We will increase this voltage, and whenever we reach a voltage which is equal to VBO or forward breakover voltage, here avalanche breakdown happens. So when avalanche breakdown happens, this J2 junction starts conducting, because after avalanche breakdown the depletion layer will no longer exist. So this J2 junction will be in conduction mode after forward breakover voltage VBO. So we will increase this anode to cathode voltage, and whenever we will reach a voltage which is equal to forward breakover voltage, this depletion layer will face a avalanche breakdown, and this depletion layer will no longer exist, and we have a conduction of current in this J2 junction. So when this current will increase and will cross a level that is called latching current level, then our device will turn on. So what is latching current? I have already explained in my previous video. So latching current is what? Latching current is that minimum current above which our anode current should rise for reliable turn on of our SCR. So when we increase our voltage VAK and the VAK crosses the forward breakover voltage level, then here avalanche breakdown happens and our anode current starts increasing, and when it crosses the latching current level, then this SCR will reliably or successfully turns on. So this is called as forward conduction state of the SCR. So I think you guys understand what is the forward conduction state and what is forward blocking state. Forward blocking state and forward conduction state both are under forward biased condition of the device. But what is the difference? Whenever we have a voltage VAK less than VBO, then the state is called as forward blocking state or off state. But whenever our voltage is more than VBO or forward breakover voltage and the current is greater than latching current, then that state is called as forward conduction state or on state of a SCR. So once the SCR turns on, unless until we apply a negative voltage across the SCR and the current value is less than the holding current level, this SCR will never turn off. So इसको टर्न ऑफ करने के लिए क्या चाहिए? We have to apply a reverse voltage in between anode to cathode, so that our anode current will start decreasing and it decreases below a holding current level. So जब holding current से नीचे आ जाएगा हमारा anode current, then our device will turn off. So you know what is a holding current? So holding current is that minimum value of current below which when our anode current falls, our device will get turned off. So that is the significance of holding current. हमको anode current को holding current से नीचे लाना चाहिए. Unless until anode current is not less than holding current, we cannot turn off our device. So anode current को IA को must be less than equal to holding current IH होना चाहिए to turn off the SCR. So first we are applying a reverse voltage then current starts decreasing, and whenever it will be less than holding current, our device will be reliably turned off. So in the turn on process, we know about latching current, and in turn off process, we know about holding current. Latching current and holding current. So this is associated with turn on process, T on, and this is associated with turn off process. So latching current क्या है? During turning on of a SCR, whenever our anode current exceeds latching current, then our device will be successfully turned on, and during turn off process, whenever our anode current will be less than holding current, then our device will be successfully turned off. So I think you understand about latching and holding current. For detailed understanding, you can see my video about latching and holding current in another lecture. So what is the role of this gate terminal? If our device is turning on and turning off by increasing this anode to cathode voltage, so why we need to connect an extra terminal over here? So what really happens, whenever we increase this voltage and up to forward breakover voltage, this forward breakover voltage value is very high, that is in the range of thousands of volts. So how can we get this thousands of volts? Because our supply voltage in the household is 230 volts. So we have a supply voltage of 230 volts. So how to reach thousands of volts? So you have to employ, or we have to connect a transformer, that is step up transformer. So the system will get bulkier. So to turn on this SCR at a much lower value of this breakover voltage, we have to supply some voltage at the gate terminal. So how it will happen? Let's see. So when the anode is at a positive potential with respect to the cathode, and we apply a positive forward biased voltage VAK with respect to cathode with no voltage applied at the gate, then J1, J3 are forward biased, J2 is reverse biased. So as J2 is reverse biased, no conduction takes place. Now if VAK increases beyond the breakdown voltage VBO, then thyristor J2 junction will face avalanche breakdown and current starts conduction. So if a positive potential Vg is applied, that is this Vg is applied at the gate terminal with respect to the cathode, then the breakdown of the junction J2 occurs at a lower value of the forward anode to cathode voltage. So once avalanche breakdown occurs, the thyristor continues to conduct irrespective of the gate voltage. So once our device will get started, we don't require this Vg to conduct our current through this device. So हमको क्या करना है, हमको इतना ही करना है कि इस डिवाइस को ऑन करने तक इधर हमको गेट फॉल्स वोल्टेज चाहिए. So whenever our device will turn on, we don't require this Vg in this circuit. So what is the role of the gate? So role of the gate is to turn on the device SCR at a voltage much less than the forward breakover voltage. So this is the significance of our gate terminal. So that's why gate is also called as control terminal, because it controls the flow of current with respect to time. So now we'll learn about the applications of thyristor. So because thyristor control a relatively large amount of power and voltage with a relatively smaller device, they find its wide application in control of electric power, such as light dimmers, electric motors, HVDC system, among others. We also use thyristors in power switching circuits, relay circuits, inverter circuits, speed control circuits, low cost timer circuits, phase control circuits, chopper circuits, and oscillator circuits. I have been writing over here. Please note it down. The applications of SCR. First, light dimmer. speed control of electric motor, inverter circuit, chopper circuit. Please write it down or memorize it. Speed control circuit. Here I have also written here, so no need to write it again. Phase control circuit. Oscillator circuit. So this is a very wide use, because in this area we are using thyristors. So these also used in HVDC transmission system, that is high voltage DC transmission system. So due to their smaller size, thyristor control a relatively large amount of power and voltage. So we find its wide application due to these two types of characteristics of a thyristor. So what are the main characteristics? So it can control a relatively large amount of power and voltage, and it has a smaller size. I am writing here, can control large amount of power and voltage, and size is less. So where its application? Light dimmer circuit, speed control of motors, inverter circuit, chopper circuit, phase control, oscillator circuit, HVDC transmission system. So this is all about the basics of thyristor. I think this video or this lecture will help you guys. So any doubt, please write in the comment section, or you can contact me in WhatsApp. This is my number and this is my mail ID. So if any queries or doubt regarding this, you may ask over here. Thank you.